Hey y'all, and welcome to Politabrawl. My name is Brian, and Patrick Bet David red pills the wishy-washy Stephen A. Smith about Donald Trump on his own show. This is fantastic, and before we jump in, we are sponsored by the Colonial Metals Group. These people and these experts understand how to protect your wealth against Bidenflation.
Even though I know that you want Trump to win, are you of the mindset that in Biden's case, he should step out of the race or he should finish the deal?
Do you trust in his way to communicate any message with anybody? Do you trust him? Because this is how it works in the world of business, okay? Let's just say, Stephen A., you're running a $3.5 trillion a year company. Let's call this company USA, okay? Let's say I, on behalf of you, I'm going to go negotiate with another guy named G. Or another guy named Vlad. Let's just call him Vlad. Or let's call another guy named Zelensky, okay?
Okay.
Or another guy named Raisi or whoever, Khamenei, that's running Iran, the late Raisi. Would you trust Biden on behalf of you to go negotiate with any one of those guys? I don't think you'd say yes to that,
I
right?
wouldn't.
Exactly. So we are the owners of this country. We're the voters, right? We are voting for somebody on behalf of us to go negotiate in a favorable term for us. It's very simple. You have to negotiate favorable terms on the $200 billion we gave to Zelensky. You have to negotiate in favorable terms on to put the fear in, Putin to not do what he's doing to, Ukraine. You have to put the fear in G. So to me, it starts that simple. It's not even about me and Trump are not friends. I've never broke bread with him to have like a conversation. You probably had more interactions with him one-on-one than I've had with him. I've met him at a UFC fight. Dana made the introduction. I've been to Mar-a-Lago a couple times. I've met his son. I've met him. I've met Don a couple times.
I've never seen him since 2014.
That's the financial advice he gave you.
That's the last time we saw each other. When we were at a game, at the Knicks game, and he introduced me to Bill O'Reilly at that particular moment in time. And I was the person he called in 2014 when he was trying to purchase the Buffalo Bills. And he said to me on the phone, he said, Stephen A., I want to get the Bills. He said, but I got a feeling these folks are going to get in my way. And his exact words to me, and I've said this publicly, so I'll echo it to you. He said, if them fuckers get in my way, I'm going to get them back. I'm going to run for president. That's exactly what he said.
He said this to you.
He said this to me
year?
in 2014.
Wow.
He said it to me in 2014. He's trying to get the Bills. The price for it was $1.4 billion.
Yeah.
He wasn't able to get it, and there you have it.
Yeah. So think about, by the way, I spoke to him and I said, I'd love to see you on Stephen A. It's one of the first things I told him. I said, I'd love to see you on Stephen A. I think that would be a entertaining interview if you interview Trump.
I wouldn't run from it. I'd gladly interview him.
I know you would. And I think it'd be very entertaining for everybody to watch. And if they're watching it right now, they ought to consider it, especially if they did Logan Paul. It'd be a very different kind of an audience to speak to because a big part of the audience listens to you. So for me, I just did 3 interviews today. Today's, whatever the day is, day after 4th of July, we're sitting here. You're working a day after 4th of July. Most of America right now is like, no, it's my 4-day weekend, all this stuff, right? We're grinding, we're working. Do you think President Biden is working on the 5th of July? Do you think he's working 6 days a week the way Trump would do?
Well, the short answer to that is obviously no. Biden is a 10 to 4 kind of person. He gets out of bed at 10 o'clock and then he has to go back to bed at 4. It is just a sad thing to think about. But ultimately, there's actually a bigger story here. Stephen A. Smith, a couple of months ago, had the guts to publicly say that Donald Trump is actually a good president. And he got slapped down by his producers so hard that he had to apologize, he had to reverse course, and yet you could tell during that initial broadcast, he was being sincere. He truly believed the words that were coming out of his mouth. Stephen A. Smith doesn't always do that. He has to take on these certain roles and certain ideas in order to get views, and that's why he's such a controversial figure, because he takes these weird stances. Granted, whenever he jokes about the Dallas Cowboys, I'm always here for it. And the other guy across from him, Patrick Bet David, is a minority owner of the New York Yankees, to which I'm indeed thankful. Thank you for buying the Yankees and turning them into the terribleness they currently are. I am enjoying this as a baseball lover and a Braves fan, and right now, go Orioles. But that's not the point here. The point here is this guy understands how business is done. Y'all, times are rough. Record inflation is still not under control. We have a president who doesn't know what planet he's on. And the Federal Reserve continues to make dumb decision after dumb decision after dumb decision. You can gamble on Wall Street all you want, but if you want to diversify and protect your wealth, you need to look into my friends over at Colonial Metals Group. These amazing experts understand how to keep your wealth safe and protected from the volatility of our current market. And there's even a great deal for first-time accounts. Free gold and silver-backed IRA accounts, insurance on whatever precious metals you happen to buy for 5 years, up to $7,500 worth of silver, and a nice safe for you to keep all this good stuff in. So go take a look at their website, link in the description below, or call the phone number below so you can talk personally to Paul Stone, CEO, and his amazing team of experts to protect your wealth today. He understands who Donald Trump is. He's even been to Mar-a-Lago a few times and has met the man in person. He understands the mindsets and the way Trump works. Ultimately, this is the premise you need to have. He is always looking to make a deal. He literally wrote a book called The Art of the Deal, and he lives by his own tenets time and time again. That's why he's been such a force on foreign policy. And I'll be honest here. 10 years ago, I was a huge Donald Trump hater. Granted, I've grown since then. I was only about 20 years old. But it's funny that they reference a certain date, 2014. I had the opportunity to go to Galena, Alaska, and help rebuild a town that was flooded by the Yukon River, backing up due to an ice dam. And what I found is the people that were helping out, and once they learned that I was politically active, I was studying political science, they kept on asking me, "What do you think about Donald Trump?" I gave him my honest opinion, and I turned out to be 100% wrong. I thought that he was going to have his lunch taken from him at the international table. It turns out Donald Trump has been our best foreign policy president, probably since Eisenhower. That's a long time ago. That's 60 years. It's been 60 years since we've had a truly great president. Granted, Reagan was pretty good. But we have had a long deficit of just bad foreign policy over and over and over. And these two, one is a businessman, the other is a sportscaster, and they're just shooting the crap. They're shooting the bull, and they are ultimately admitting and saying just in truth and with earnestness, Joe Biden can't do this job anymore. Donald Trump, however, still has the energy. He has the ingenuity. He brought North Korea to the table. He brought Iran to its knees. He was able to keep peace with Russia, which, by the way, every single president since George Herbert Walker Bush has overseen some sort of Russian war at some point. Except one, Donald Trump. He has gotten the United Kingdom, he's gotten Mexico, he's gotten Canada, he even got China, all to come to the negotiating table to renegotiate trade deals that ultimately benefited the United States. I think his only pitfall was how he handled a certain disease of unspecified origin. And under his presidency, we flourished. That's just the simple truth of the matter. These two gentlemen fundamentally understand that. One is untethered, doesn't have to worry about media outlets. The other had to make an apology. Stephen A. Smith had to backtrack and apologize for daring to praise Trump. That should be a wild story, y'all. And the fact that we have another billionaire basically out here saying, yeah, the last guy was better and the current guy can't do the job. That's the truth of the matter, y'all. And that's why it's so important in November of 2024. Folks, my name is Brian. Hope you enjoyed this segment here on Political Brawl. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Catch you on the next one. And until then, y'all have a good one.